So hey guys, this is David Fredrickson. I'm back with another video. This video is on, actually it's a follow-up to my macro video I just did. And this video is going to be more or less on protein and protein synthesis. The thing is you have Instagram, you have Facebook, you have all these guys online, you have all these different physiques, people doing different things, and there's expectations and reality as far as what protein is going to do to you. And I'm just going to give you a little glimpse on what the truth is. Here it is. So there you have it, expectations and reality, the truth, okay? Now, I'm gonna be honest with you in all my videos, things that have worked for me. I've been training pretty much steady for, I'd say, 7 years. 7 years ago, I started CrossFit and then decided to move on to more physique type training to build my physique, because CrossFit only took me so far. It only built a frame, strength here and there, but I wanted to build a physique. Physique training is different. Now we'll talk about training in another video, but what I want to talk about is the importance of MPS, which is muscle protein synthesis, and being able to spike it so your body can repair the muscles. Now, exercise-induced muscle protein synthesis is different than regular muscle protein synthesis. Our body's constantly going through a breakdown and a repair process. And throughout the day, it's just this gigantic curve, okay? Do you have to eat 6 meals a day? No, you don't. That is a myth. Bodybuilders mainly did that because they didn't want to consume so much into one meal, and they try to fit a large amount of calories throughout the day. All you need, you can do intermittent fasting, you can do any diet, and if you don't have time to eat 4 to 5 meals a day, 3 meals is fine. You just want to get your protein, the amount of protein you need per day in that day. So make it fit for your lifestyle, because the muscles are only going to absorb amino acids as needed. So even if you're spiking muscle protein synthesis throughout the day, which, let me throw this in, you have about 4 to 5 opportunities through a day as far as to spike muscle protein synthesis. This is probably every 4 to 5 hours. So if you want to get the most bang for your buck, consume protein every 4 to 5 hours. But if you can't, you can't. Everybody's lifestyle is different. Just make sure you get at least, like in the previous video, whatever protein figure you come up with as far as your daily intake, whether it's 0.85 grams per pound of body weight or 1.3 grams per pound of body weight. Make sure you get that in through the day. And the body will utilize protein throughout the day still with the short spikes, even if it's 3 spikes in a day. So I'm going to go and throw some pictures on here so we can talk about them and give you guys a little bit of understanding on how much protein and what it does. And the last picture I'm going to do is, I really want to do this because branched chain amino acids are used and people spend a lot of money on them. And they do absolutely nothing for you other than blunt your appetite, hydrate you sometimes. They do not build muscle, damn it. And I want to make that clear. So for most people, it's a waste of money. I take no branched chain amino acids. I've tried them. I've taken a.k.a.s. I've taken bcaas. So we'll do this we'll talk about this at the end, as far as I got a graph for you that I can show you on the effect of protein and branched amino acids, protein and lucine, and this and that, from Torn Tromlin, which is a guy who actually does research, and he's done quite a bit of research on muscle protein synthesis, so he knows what he's talking about. It's been in double-blind studies. So here we go, a few clips, we'll talk about them.
So 20 grams of protein gives a near maximal muscle protein synthetic response. This is the process driving muscle growth. 40 grams of protein gives 10 to 20% higher muscle protein synthetic response compared to 20 grams. I'll leave this on the screen for another 5-10 seconds. As you can see, the little shaker on the bottom where there's time, and you see the elevation of the 20 grams and the 40 grams, and the time is probably 3 to 4 hours. So here we have casein protein, talking about slow digestible proteins like casein, resulted in lower growth response compared to fast digestible proteins like whey. However, greater amounts of slow digestible protein may stimulate muscle growth for a longer period of time, which means that if you're taking 20 grams of whey and you want to compare it to casein, you might want to jack that up to 40 grams to get a higher spike in MPS for a longer period of time. So here's an interesting one. Supplements with whole food meals for muscle growth. Mixed meals may have a slow digestion compared to protein supplements. Whole foods and mixed meals contain micronutrients which may increase muscle growth response. So it looks like the 20 grams of protein rich in micronutrients, which is the whole foods and mixed meals, increase protein synthesis the most, higher than whey alone. So consuming protein during resistance training. So the protein increases in muscle mass was just a bit. Consuming a protein shake while you train. It was slight, so it's up to you. It doesn't hurt. And if you're looking for that extra edge or maximizing your gains, I say give it a try. Here we have a table on the responses of the different types of protein, how they respond to MPS. I believe this was done with 25 grams of protein for each one. Casein by itself was the lowest. Hydrolyzed casein was in the middle, and whey, of course, was the top dog. So here's an interesting one. This was done on muscle protein breakdown. Now, the AA in the diagram is amino acids, which is protein. So training on the top, the white box, is fasted. If you train fasted, highest muscle breakdown. Low insulin training with protein is high also. And then as you can see, muscle protein breakdown slows as insulin is increased in your meals or during training.
Now, a little bit about branched chain amino acids.
So they did a study on using 6.25 grams of whey throughout the whole study, except on the high whey section here. I'm going to leave this on the screen for a while so you guys can take a look at it. But if you have a low whey, you get a small muscle protein or MPS response. Low whey plus low lucine, you get a small response or percentage or increase in MPS. If you do low whey and high leucine, it literally spikes it as high as whey alone, as you can see on the diagram. But if you do low whey as well and you put high branched chain amino acids, it then keeps it low. So branched chain amino acids, the thing about them is, if you read all the studies, is each branched chain amino acid all fight for the same uptake pathway in the body. So once you throw in the leucine, the isoleucine, and the valine into the mix, they're fighting when the main amino acid you want is leucine. Those other two are restricting the uptake of leucine. So if you want to take something pre-workout, during workout, or after workout, I would switch from branched chain amino acids and start applying or taking or consuming some leucine instead, especially with your whey.
So there you have it, a little bit on protein, muscle protein synthesis. It is Hypertrophy 101. It's the first step to building muscle. So if you're in the gym right now, the one thing you want to do, and it's hard, you don't want to go from eating 100 grams of protein to 250 grams of protein right away. So piece of advice, slowly increase your protein intake. If you have to do a protein shake before your training or after your training just to get extra 50 grams of protein a day, it'll make a big difference in your development as far as your muscle, your strength, so forth and so on. Now, there are other aspects to hypertrophy, and a lot of them fall within training methods. There's mechanical tension, metabolic stress, and muscle damage. I'll be doing videos on those too, but right now I want to follow through from the macros so the videos can kind of fall together as far as giving you guys the right information and not just kind of leave you hanging with one thing. So if you like the video, please like the video down below. Subscribe to the channel. It helps my channel get more followers, get more views, and get more information out because I want to share this with everybody. I have no agendas. I just love doing this. It's been a passion for me. I've been doing it for a while, and I believe I've got it nailed down to actually staying lean and growing muscle without killing myself in the gym or all day long like I see some people doing. So we'll talk to you in the next video. You guys have a good one.